Hello friends, so welcome to the second lecture from vector calculus, and in this lecture I will talk about gradient of a scalar field, and then we will learn what we mean by directional derivative. So first of all, let me define the gradient of a scalar field, but before that let me introduce you the del operator. So here I am going few definition. So the del operator is denoted by this symbol, that is nebula, and it is a vector and defined as okay. So with this operator we will define our gradient of a scalar field. So my next definition is so let phi be a scalar function of x, y and z. Then gradient of phi is denoted by simply grad phi or del phi, and given as so please note that phi is a scalar function, but when I am operating it with del operator, it will become del phi over del x, that is the partial derivative of pi with respect to x, I plus del phi over del y into j plus del phi over del z into means the component in the direction of k. So phi is a scalar function, but gradient of phi, that is also we say del phi, is a vector function. So gradient of a scalar function will be a vector function, and it is defined in this way. So now we will take an example, that is find the gradient of phi x y z equals to x square y z minus 2 y 3 z square. So here phi is a scalar function. Now we will find out the gradient of this. So gradient of phi is given by del x square y z minus 2 y cube z square upon del x in the direction of phi plus del again the function phi and the same in the direction of k. So it will become the I component will become 2xyz plus y component will become x square z minus 6 y square z square z, and k component will become x square y minus 4 y cube z. So in this way we can calculate the gradient of a scalar function. If someone asks you what will be the gradient at a point x equals to 1, y equals to 1, z equals to 1, so at point 1 1 1 it will be given as a vector 2i plus minus 5j minus 3k by this vector, constant vector. The another important concept where we will make use of gradient, and I will make use of this gradient later on in the concept of directional derivative. So the directional derivative of a function f is the rate of change of f at any point p in any fixed direction given by a vector v. So I will denote it as capital D, v in the subscript, and f. So dvf or df over ds. So this means the directional derivative of f at a point p in the direction of vector v. So this is called as the directional derivative. So directional derivative of a function in the direction of a given vector is the rate of change of that particular function in that direction. For example, the partial derivative of a function f with respect to x, that is del f over del x, is the directional derivative in the direction of vector I. Del f over del y, the other partial derivative, is the directional derivative in the direction of j or along y axis. Del f over del z gives the rate of change in the direction of z axis, that is the directional derivative in the direction of vector k. However, we are having many other vectors. Those are having all components non-zero, means all components means I, j and k. So hence we need to find out a process to find out the rate of change of the function in the directions of those vectors. Those are not limited in the direction of I, j or k only. Okay. So mathematically, if v be a vector having component v1 and v2 along I and j directions respectively, and it is a unit vector, we define the direction fv, that is the rate of change of f in the direction of v at a point ab by this limiting definition. So here mathematically we will define the directional derivative as, so definition so let f be a scalar function of xy, let us say. I am defining it in a plane only. So f be a scalar function. Now the directional derivative of f at a point AB so better you mention here f of xy because we are talking about function of two variables. So at a point AB in the direction of unit vector, let us say v, which is given as v1i plus v2j, is defined as so d in the direction of v. So here v is a unit vector. Limit h tending to 0 f of a plus hv1 b plus hv2 minus fab upon h. So this is the mathematical definition of directional derivative. So directional derivative at a point AB in the direction of unit vector v exists if this limit exists, otherwise they don't exist. Now let us take an example and then we will generalize this concept in terms of gradient. So I will say example 1. So find the directional derivative of f of xy, which is defined as x plus y square at the point for 0 in the direction of vector one by 2 I plus let us say root 3 by 2 j. So basically we need to find out the rate of change of this function at this point in the direction of this vector. So let us try to obtain the solution of this example. So here this one. So please note that here v is a unit vector. Okay. So we no need to make it as a unit vector. If it is not a unit vector, first of all we need to find out unit vector, because in the definition we have used the unit vector. So now directional derivative of f in the direction of v at a point AB. So point is here 4 0 is given as limit h tending to 0 f of a plus hv1 b 0 here, so root 3 by 2 h, so b plus hv2 minus f 4 0, that is fab upon h. this equals to limit h tending to 0. So 4 plus half h plus 3 by 4 h square x plus y square minus f of 4 0 will become 4 upon h. So this comes out to be 1 by 2 because 4 will be cancelled out, so it is half. So the directional derivative of this function at a point 4 0 in the direction of this vector v is 1 by 2. So let us define another example. So I will write example 2. So find the directional derivative of a function f of xy. So I will define this function explicitly. At the point, let us make it simple 0 0 in the direction of vector v, and let me take a general case v1i plus v2j, and function is defined as f of xy it is x upon y when y not equals to 0, and it is 0 when y equals to 0. Now find the directional derivative. So here we will take two separate cases. So case 1, when v1 not equals to 0 and v2 not equals to 0. So we are not along x-axis as well as y-axis. Okay. In this case, what will happen? Directional derivative of f in the direction of v at 0 0 will be, or let us take more simple case first, v1 0 and v2 is also 0. v1 is 0 as well as v2 is 0. So in this case, limit h tending to 0, f of a is 0, so 0 plus 0 0 0 minus f 0 0 upon h, and this comes out to be 0. Now take case 2. If the product of v1 and v2, those are the components of the unit vector v along I and j direction, their product is not equals to 0. It means either v1 or v2 cannot be 0. If one of them is 0, product will be 0. If both of them are 0, product will be 0. So both are non-zero. So this is the general case. We are not going along axis, okay, x or y axis. So in this case, the directional derivative is limit h tending to 0 f of hv1 hv2 minus f0 0 upon h. So as you know, v1 is not 0, v2 is not 0. So we have to consider this case of the definition of f of xy. So it will become limit h tending to 0 1 upon h. I have taken this h out. HV1 upon HV2. So limit h tending to 0, V1 upon V2h, and you know this limit does not exist. Hence, the directional derivative of this function in the direction of a vector V1i plus V2j, where V1 and V2 both are non-zero component, does not exist. Okay. Now, I want to generalize the concept of directional derivative, and I want to relate it with the gradient of a function. So, if the function f is differentiable, here differentiable means because f is a function of several variables. So, if f is having the total derivative, okay, then we can write the directional derivative as the gradient of f and dot product of this with the unit vector v, and that is coming from this limiting definition only. So, what I want to say, if f is differentiable, then directional derivative of f in the direction of a vector v is given by del f and dot product with unit vector v, and hence if it is differentiable, its directional derivative exists in each and every direction. So, for example, take the earlier example itself, where f of x y was x plus y square. I have taken the points as for 0 and vector was 1 by 2i plus root 3 by 2j. So, find the directional derivative of this function at this point in the direction of this vector. So, apply this definition. So, here df at for 0 will be grad f, and grad f will become I plus 2yj, and this is at the point for 0. So, at the point for 0 it will become simply I only, okay, because y is 0. So, I dot with vector 1 by 2i plus root 3 by 2j, and this comes out to be 1 by 2. So, the same answer we obtained which we have got earlier using the limiting definition. So, another example you can take f of x y as x square upon y square, where x y belongs to in this interval. So, please note that in this rectangular domain I am not having 0, that is the y axis is not included here because there this function is not defined. Then what is the derivative of f at 1 1 along the direction I plus j? So, if the vector is I plus j, I need to make it unit vector. So, it will become I plus j upon square root 2, that is my v cap, and grad of f will become this vector. At this point 1 1, this will be 2i minus 2j. Now, the dot product of this, it comes out to be 0, and this implies that the function is constant in the direction of the vector I plus j. There is no change in the rate of change is 0. This is another example. So, find the value of directional derivative of this function making an angle 30 degree with the positive x axis at the point 0 1. So, again I will calculate del f is given by this one. At point 0 1, del f comes out to be minus j. Now, vector is given as, because it is making an angle 30 degree, with the x-axis, the x component will be cos 30 degree and y component will be sin pi by 6. So, this comes out to be root 3 by 2i plus 1 by 2j, and hence directional derivative is minus 1 by 2. Now, one more important remark about directional derivative means in which direction the function is having the maximum rate of change. So, let f be or f of x y z be a scalar function having continuous first order partial derivatives, then gradient of f exists and its length and direction are independent of the particular choice of Cartesian coordinate in the space. If a point P, the gradient of f is not the 0 vector, it has the direction of maximum increase of f at P. So, let us see the proof of this. So, here we are taking f as a function of several variables. So, we know that the directional derivative of f in the direction of a unit vector u is given by gradient of f dot product with unit vector u, and as we know that the dot product of two vectors a and b is given by magnitude of a multiply with magnitude of b multiply with cos theta, where theta is the angle between these two vectors a and b. So, in the same way we can write this particular thing as the magnitude of gradient of f magnitude of u into cos theta. We know that u is a unit vector, so the magnitude of u will become 1. So, this can be written as magnitude of gradient of f multiply with cos theta. So, now we have to see that where we are having the maximum value of this particular thing, because the maximum value will give you the maximum rate of change of a function f. So, we can notice that the cos theta is between minus 1 to 1. So, the maximum value of this will be magnitude of gradient of f, and minimum value will be minus magnitude of gradient of f. So, when theta equals to 0, cos theta will become 1 and we will get the maximum value of this. So, maximum rate of change will occur in the direction of the gradient of f. Again, when we take theta equals to phi, that is when u and gradient of f are in opposite direction, then cos theta will become minus 1 and hence the rate of change will be minimum in this case. So, let us take this example. So, find the gradient in which the function f of x y sin x plus c raised to power y minus 1 has the greatest rate of change at the point 0 1. So, as I told you, it will be in the direction of del f. So, here del f is given at point 0 1 as I plus j. So, answer will be the maximum or greatest rate of change of this function at this point will be in this direction. In the next lecture, we will see few more properties of gradient and some other applications of gradient. Thank you very much.